Hello everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in once again into the book review section of my channel. Today is that day of the week that I bring my book review to you so that you can know about a book, go out, pick it up for yourself and start reading it. So the book that I'm going to review today is a special one for the fact that it was gifted to me by a very good friend of mine. Her name is Anusha. Thank you so much, Anusha, for introducing me this wonderful book, and it's been a great read, and that is why I've decided to review it for all my viewers on the channel. So the book that I'm talking about today is called The Palace of Illusions, and it is written by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. Now, the title of the book doesn't give away too much about in terms of what this book is all about. So, let me tell you that this book is the story of Mahabharata. Now, you must be wondering that if it is the story of Mahabharata, which you probably already have read, heard, or seen in the TV series, what is different in this book that you should pick it up and read? So, let me tell you that this book is from the point of view of Draupadi. Now, we all know that Draupadi was the reason for, or the main reason for the war. She acts as a catalyst for starting the war, and the author, what she has done over here is tried to capture from the viewpoint of Draupadi of how she has seen her life progress, and then finally the war. The versions that we have heard or seen so far is that of Ved Vyasa as narrated by Lord Ganesha himself. But then nobody has actually read or has known of what Draupadi was going through during this entire tenure, right from her birth till the end of the war and after that. So, this is the book that has very nobly tried to capture Draupadi's point of view, and that is why it is an interesting read. Now, if I were to just tell you the story of this book in brief, it is divided into three sections. The first part discusses Draupadi's life as a princess when she is at her father's home, and how the events of her early life shape the events that are going to come later in her life. The prophecies of how she will be married to five people, and then the great miseries and sadness that she will face in life is a good setup for the story to come in. The middle section of the story is actually about her married life when she gets married to five Pandavas, and then when they are banished to the forest for 13 long years, and how they prepare for the war every day. And the third part is the war itself, the pleasures and pains that Draupadi derives out of the war, and the final learnings, and the entire events of the war that take place, along with the key figures and their perspective, their thoughts, and how Draupadi feels about them. So this is a very basic storyline of the entire book. Now, if I were to talk about why you should be reading this book, is because firstly the narration is flawless. It is very simple and smooth, written in plain English, and at no point you are you are forced to feel that okay, there's too much of mythology and too much of things which are not making sense or cannot actually happen in real life. So that thankfully has been eliminated to a larger extent. Also, some sections of the book are very intriguing and very interesting. They are almost gripping, especially the scene where Bhishma Pitama, or the great grandfather or the greatest warrior of Bharat country, is lying on a bed of arrows, and when Karna comes to meet him and then pours his heart out. That particular section of the book is actually very heart wrenching, and you actually feel for the two who are in conversation. So some parts of the book have been beautifully written, and the narration is brilliant. It is engaging, and it actually makes you look forward to turning to the next page, and that is why this book is brilliant to read. If I were to talk about a few cons, there are not too many, but just the fact that in some areas or in some points, the book does become ambiguous. After all, the mythology was so much filled with loose ends that probably the author also couldn't find too many justifications of how to stitch it together, and that is why those loose ends still appear to be in this book. And well, that is a part and parcel of any mythology which is being converted into such books. But then overall, definitely it is a brilliant read, and I really enjoyed reading this book thoroughly. It also gave me a little bit of knowledge about Mahabharata, which otherwise was pretty much zero in me, and that is why I think I loved reading this book, and that is the reason why you should also be picking it up. If I were to rate this book, I would probably give it a rating of 3.8 on 5 for its brilliant attempt to engage the reader and also narrate the story of Mahabharata from a new perspective, which probably has not been heard before. It remains fiction, but then it is as good as the original Mahabharata that we have always heard of or seen on the television sets. So yeah, that is what I had to tell you about this book. Definitely go out, buy it, and read it. You will not complain about having read this book. You will enjoy it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching my video once again. And do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, hit on the bell icon so that you get notified every time I publish a new video. So, until next week, thank you so much for watching. See you again.